Okay, here's a story that's been buried because of all the other news that's been coming out. A man with a doctorate in economics and worked for the Federal Reserve for over a decade has been arrested for selling information that could allow China to manipulate U.S. financial markets. China is not waging wars on nations via the force of arms, but via economic and trade. John Harold Rogers is denying that he is guilty. But what has been released by the FBI and Department of Justice should not be considered good by anyone. If this can be proven in a court of law, then this will show a situation that could explain a lot of the moves made by China in the past few years. There's quite a bit that China has done in this nation. They own many companies that were started here across multiple industries. They own quite a bit of land. They have been ramping up their intelligence operations, including getting people close to members of Congress. This is yet another story that should have people concerned about how the economic problems have arisen in this nation. On top of the simple fact of is how was a guy that was selling secrets to China allowed to be in such an important position for over a decade? So let's cover this story after my brief intro. Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself. Okay, you can go to my Substack, take a look at this. The link is down below for the article that I wrote. Here be a DOJ press release. John Harold Rogers, 63, of Vienna, Virginia, a former senior advisor for the Federal Reserve Board of Governors, was arrested today on charges that he conspired to steal Federal Reserve trade secrets for the benefit of the People's Republic of China. In furtherance of the conspiracy, allegedly made false statements to the Officer of Inspector General for the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and those false statements had a material impact on its investigation. As alleged, the defendant violated the trust placed in him by the Federal Reserve Bank by putting U.S. trade secrets in the hands of PRC co-conspirators, knowing full well that such information could benefit the PRC government and PRC instrumentalities, said Kevin DeBacker, head of the Justice Department's National Security Division. The Justice Department will continue to use all tools at its disposal to disrupt economic espionage and protect our national security. As alleged in the indictment, Rogers betrayed his country while employed at the Federal Reserve by providing restricted U.S. financial and economic information to Chinese government intelligence officers, said Assistant Director Kevin Borngen of the FBI Counterintelligence Division. This information could allow adversaries to illegally gain a strategic economic advantage at the expense of the U.S. This indictment sends a clear message that the FBI and our partners will hold accountable those who threaten our national security. According to the indictment, Rogers, a U.S. citizen with a Ph.D. in economics, worked as a senior advisor in FRB's Division of International Finance of the FRB from 2010 until 2021, where he was entrusted with confidential FRB information. The confidential information that Rogers allegedly shared with his Chinese co-conspirators who worked for the intelligence and security apparatus of China and who posed as graduate students at a PRC university is economically viable when secret. China holds a large amount of U.S. foreign debt, approximately $816 billion as of October 2024. The data Rogers shared with his co-conspirators would allow China to manipulate the U.S. market in a manner similar to insider trading. Gaining advanced knowledge of U.S. economic policy, including advanced knowledge of changes at the federal funds rate, could provide China with an advantage when selling or buying U.S. bonds and securities. The indictment alleges that from at least 2018, Rogers allegedly exploited his employment with the FRB by soliciting trade secret information regarding proprietary economic data sets, deliberations about tariffs targeting China, briefing books for designated governors, and sensitive information about Federal Open Market Committee. deliberations, forthcoming announcements, he passed that information electronically to his personal email account in violation of FRB policy or printed it prior to traveling to China in preparation for meetings with his co-conspirators. Under the guise of teaching classes, Rogers met with his co-conspirators in hotel rooms in China where he conveyed sensitive trade secret information that belonged to the FRB and FOMC. In 2023, Rogers was paid approximately $450,000 as a part-time professor at a Chinese university. On February 4, 2020, in response to questioning by the FRB OIG, Rogers lied about his accessing and passage of sensitive information and his associations with his co-conspirators. Rogers is charged with conspiracy to commit economic espionage and making false statements. This is some nastiness. We keep having problems in this country economically because we have a government that is just plain long been bad at doing anything that is good for this country. Now we have a person who spent over a decade supposedly advising the Federal Reserve, and he is passing along trade secrets and other information that can help a foreign government. This is not a good thing. This story needs to be talked about more, just for the simple fact of this guy probably caused a lot of damage to this nation. And, well, of course I'm going to cover it because I'm not someone that covers the pop culture stuff too often. I cover real news that people need to hear about. So, this has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. Folks, I just want to say thank you for listening. I want to thank you for taking your time. I want to hear what your comments are about what you think on this topic, because your comments are what's important, not necessarily mine. I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're conservative. I don't care if you're liberal. I don't care if you're Democrat. I want to hear your opinion on these topics. I want to thank you yet again for listening to my video. Like, subscribe, and all that other hoopla. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye.